Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Two Old Gamers podcast. I think this one's episode 45 now.
Really?
We've been getting them through them.
Yeah, okay. So, hello, everybody. Let's think. When was it? The last one, I can't remember what happened up to the last one.
So this was, the last one was you didn't have a PS4. No, you had a PS5 and I still had a PS4.
Right. Okay.
And then I think about 2 days later, 2 days later I got my PlayStation 5.
Oh, good. That's right. Yeah. News. The biggest news for me was the announcement of the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Was that announced last time we did a podcast?
I'm not sure if it was announced properly.
No, I don't think. I think no, because they had a month of coverage in Game Informer, didn't they? This whole month of February.
Yeah,
And our podcast was in January, was it?
that's right. Yeah.
So yes, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is basically 59 quid or something, isn't it? It's a PS4 only game, not only game, but a PS4 version. There's no PS5 version, but I've ordered it on the PS4 game, pre-ordered it, and I can't wait. It's May. That's right. We thought it was going to be a release date of maybe March, but it's ended up being May the 14th or something. Yeah. So it comes with all the DLC and no multiplayer. But the first game, I would say, is a remaster rather than
from the comparison shots they've given.
They're upgrading the graphics, they're tweaking the gameplay, they're trying to make them all be feel like all part of a trilogy, whereas one was felt quite separate from 2 and 3. I mean, that picture you're putting up on the screen now.
That's the first game, isn't it? The remastered version.
Yeah, I mean, that looks amazing. So they put a lot of work into number one, even things like the HUD and things like that they've tried to tidy up. I think they've tidied up the combat, so it's a bit more like the other games. I think Mass Effect 3 and 2 won't have too much done to it. Mass Effect 2 will have a bit, but they're trying to make the characters' models look consistent across all three, I believe.
Yeah.
So if you look at Garrus or Talizora or the Geth or whatever in 1, 2, or 3, they look comparable. I mean, that picture there looks awesome.
Shepard's about brilliant.
Hammer, one of the husks.
They put the Mass Effect 3 female Shepard model into all of the games.
1, 2. Yeah, because the femme Shep that everyone liked in 3, the style of her hair and the way she looked was not like that in the first 2 games, but it became an iconic look. And also, my playthrough is going to have a femme Shep when I get this remaster, because I've done the Mark Mears voiced male Shepard, and they do say that the voicing that Jennifer Hale did, the actual voicing and acting that she did for her Shepard was a bit better than Mark Mears. So I thought Mark Mears was pretty good. I think he takes a bit of flack. I thought his Shepard was pretty good, pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But look at that, the Reaper. I mean, I've said to our mate Paul, I said, because I did persuade him at the time to get Mass Effect Andromeda, and even though I did play Andromeda quite a bit, which I got a shock the other day, I was going through when you go through your profile and you go to your games on the PS5 and it says how long you've played a game for.
Yeah, which is featured.
Well, Mass Effect Andromeda, my total hours played is 197.
Really? Oh my god.
Yeah, I play that a lot, and
Mm.
that's with all the buggy up, weird eye stuff and everything. So, but that's not a patch on the other games, the other Mass Effect games. So I'm trying to say to him, look, I know I didn't mislead you with Andromeda. I thought it was going to be a really good game, but obviously I thought it was a good game, but it wasn't a patch on the original trilogy. And I said, I think you really love the trilogy. I mean, the graphics there that's from one of the DLCs. It's called Citadel or something. It looks stunning. And it looks, it makes the game, brings it up to date. For PC players, they never had a controller option. It's always mouse and keyboard, unless you frigged it with some patch, which was, there was lots of mods on the PC versions, but you couldn't get it updated, or, there's lots of workarounds, but they're putting it all in one package, all the DLC, and some of the DLC is absolutely fantastic. Some of my favorite DLCs, I think Overlord is a really good DLC. There's one where Shepard goes underwater. He has to land on this thing in the middle of this raging sea. Really good DLC, that is.
There's one missing, isn't there?
That. So I paid for that.
I was going
Another
to say,
thing,
there's one DLC missing, isn't there?
yeah, because it got corrupted from the original code. It was on the original Xbox 360, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I read the story article about it, and it was actually just down to the fact that it was outsourced. That whole DLC was outsourced to another developer. They have since gone sort of bust, but they have got the original servers somewhere kicking around. But the file is still corrupted. They have tried to go back and sort of resurrect code, but they just can't. This is too far gone.
Well, when I played the PlayStation 3 versions of Mass Effect, that didn't have that DLC in it. So I'm not going to miss it because I've never seen it. So, yes, so that's the thing I'm looking forward to. The other thing was we did have a demo released using the Resident Evil Village graphics engine, the RE engine.
Yeah.
And I promptly took my money from my refund from Cyberpunk, and I invested that in paying for the Resident Evil Village pre-order, because that comes out a week before Mass Effect, I think.
Yeah.
So those are the pre-orders and the news. The other big news, Mass Effect related, is Henry Cavill quoted on Instagram he's got some script or something, and he made it go out of focus, but some clever people got this utility that takes out of focus text and makes it go in focus, and it revealed 4 references to Mass Effect, which could mean, because I know Henry Cavill's he actually likes Mass Effect. He's a game player, like he plays The Witcher as well. Yeah, she's a gamer, and I think that he hinted at something, and people have unraveled it quite quick, that it could be a Mass Effect TV series, or like The Witcher or something, which would be freaking awesome, especially if he was Shepard.
Yeah,
because he'd make a good Shepard, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah.
The thing about that would be if they did that, if they got because I remember Mass Effect 2, the character Miranda was all about Yvonne Stravinsky, who was like in Chuck at the time, and so she's still around, so maybe she could come and actually play her character now for real. They did it in Star Wars.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, maybe a lot of them could do. I mean, if you can get the woman that plays Liara to Sony, her voice, I'm just going to shut my door because my missus has just got back, and the dogs make a lot of noise. So, right, okay, right. That was amazing news.
Yeah. Whilst we're on the subject of BioWare, there's a couple of things that have happened BioWare related as well this week, isn't there? Is that there are Anthem is no more.
They're not going to release Anthem 2.0, which is what they said they were working on, and they've moved everyone.
Is not happening. But the game will still run. But I mean, that essentially means no patches, no content. It's just running. That's it. So that is pretty much.
I played Anthem campaign, and what there was there, I enjoyed it, and I think it's like a 30-hour, if that, campaign, and you can buy it for less than a tenner now. So if you fancy a bit of Iron Man flying around, that's better than Iron Man in that crappy game that came out, the Avengers game. Well, I think the actual flying mechanic in Anthem was brilliant fun. I really enjoyed that.
Those games are very in their future, aren't they?
Yeah. So, well, it's interesting that they also mentioned that apparently EA, there's some new person in charge. They're taking on fan feedback for once, and they it sounds like their team in charge of the next Dragon Age is removing what you'd probably call games as a service type things and making it more of a single player game, which is what it should be.
So there's actually more to it than that, because it's actually EA have admitted now that their idea of single player games are dead. I think that someone in the EA has cited the success of Fallen Order, Jedi Fallen Order, as we've made a mistake here. So they've literally said, right, Dragon Age 4 needs just to be a single player game. Don't focus on live service.
They just need to look at Sony. They don't need to look at their own stuff that they released to say that's a mistake. I mean, look at The Last of Us 2.
They've given the go-ahead for Titanfall 3, which was sort of like on hold, but that may actually now be going ahead, because I mean, Titanfall 2 has got one of the best first-person shooter campaigns in years. I mean, that's just an astounding campaign.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. They've actually got someone that knows that's in tune with gamers and what gamers' tastes are, and that's something which Xbox clearly aren't in tune with. Sony seems to be the only one that seems to be in tune with that, really. I mean,
they're doing all right, aren't they?
Sorry?
They're doing all right.
Yeah. That can lead us nicely on to the little showcase that Sony had recently. We'll talk about Nintendo afterwards if you want the direct about there, because there are some relevant things there.
So last night it was a state of play.
Yeah.
And so I'm just trying to organise this list. Yeah, it was interesting.
It wasn't. The thing is, people went into it probably expecting some wham bam confirmations of rumours, and I mean, there's rumours at the moment about Silent Hill and also a Metal Gear Solid remake done by the people that did the Demon Souls remake and things like that. But the thing is, Sony don't need to release stuff. They've even put back Gran Turismo to next year, and they've mentioned there's going to be PS4 VR 2, but nothing more than that, really.
They did a very clever thing, is that basically they made sure that they were at the headlines 3 days this week. They made sure that they're like, right, today, Wednesday was the PSVR 2 confirmation, essentially, that they're working on it. Thursday was the state of play. And of course, today they announced their PlayStation Plus titles for March. But that state of play, I think a lot of people were expecting a lot more. And they did. And I don't think it was like surprise announcements. I think they were looking for.
They got updates really on all the stuff that they've already had glimpses of. They're getting firm dates on things now, aren't they?
Yeah, I have to admit that the thing that I'm surprised about is that there wasn't more about Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be like the kind of opener for the state of play, with another look at
I must admit, that didn't occur to me.
And instead we got Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
The PS5 version. It's like
there seems to be a lot of comparing updated versions, doesn't there? Lots of PS5 versions now coming out of PS4 games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I think is pretty good.
There were quite a few announcements last night. A lot of them were games we already knew about, but at least we've got dates for them now.
I really like the look of that Oddworld game, that Oddworld sort of Lemmings type crossover thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah,
and that's free. That's going to be the PSN game for PS5 owners in April, which I think is awesome.
Going PS Plus is a good move for them.
Yeah,
I think it is just a very, very pretty version. It looks like, and I might be completely wrong, but it looks like just a very, very pretty version of the original game.
Oh, okay. I didn't know much about the original game.
When he was playing that last night, saying, "Oh, you can now possess people," well, meditating. So you could do that in the original game. So it's not new. Like that's what you could do. I just think it's a very odd choice to put onto to pump as a next gen title. Is this game that it looks very pretty, but it is essentially really old school mechanics. Still, it's still that whole 2D and whatever they say, the 2.9D, whatever it is.
I mean, I'm actually quite pleased because that was a game that I quite like the look of, and I think the fact it's going to be free, it's not going to cost me anything to try it out, is awesome.
Oh yeah, because
I think PS Plus is really good value.
Is a really good move.
What they announced for PS Plus for March? Then there's a game that I've never heard of in there.
So we'll jump ahead because there's a bit of there's not a controversy going on, but people are like, what?
People enjoy
last night. The big reveal last night, the last game, was Final Fantasy VII. What's it called?
Yeah,
it's
got some stupid bloody other name. Yeah,
PS5 version of Final Fantasy VII with resolution enhancements, texture enhancements, fog enhancements are very important.
With things that basically don't look that impressive, to be honest with you. I didn't think they looked that impressive.
I get the feeling the stream probably wasn't the best place to show that. I'm sure that, actually stream's running at 1080p. So it's like having a video at 1080p saying, look at the difference between our 4K screen and our 1080p screen. It's like, we can't see because
if I go to the store, right, they have it there, and it's called Final Fantasy Remake Intergrade, and you get an extra mission with some other character, right? If I click on it, because I own the original game, it says unavailable.
Yeah.
Right? Now, does that mean at some point it will be free because I own the original game? It's a full value because they're releasing that as a plus game in March, aren't they?
You will get an upgrade to Final Fantasy VII PS5 version, but the bit that is the integral part, the integrate part, you will not get.
What's that? The extra mission?
Essentially, the extra mission.
Oh, I'm not fussed about that because I haven't even played the other one yet. Okay, well, at least I'm getting something free.
So that basically, so if you own the PS4 version of the game, you will get a free upgrade to the PS4.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Today, PlayStation Plus games for March got announced, and the games are Final Fantasy VII Remake for the PS4.
Yeah.
Revenant from the Ashes.
I've heard about that one. There's this other game I hadn't heard of.
Farpoint, and I think isn't it called Maquette or something like that?
Yeah, what's that?
That's a new puzzle game that's coming out.
Oh,
and it actually, it's got like an indie feel to it, but it's got Bryce Dallas Howard who's doing the voice of one of the characters. It's sort of like I think it's a puzzle game, but the narrative of it is that it's about two people as they meet in a relationship, and then their relationship, the puzzles. There's a puzzle inside and outside the world. It's meant to be like awful, I suppose. So that looks quite good. So they had this big announcement, and of course everyone's immediately like, "Oh my god!" They just announced the PS5 upgrade for Final Fantasy VII Remake last night, and now they're giving it away on PS Plus, except for the small print that says that people who get Final Fantasy VII Remake on PS Plus are not eligible for the free PS5 upgrade.
So I have to make sure that I don't download it or add it to my library. Get off.
I would say I would say don't add it, because we know that PlayStation's store sometimes can be very, very broken when it comes to you own things multiple times or something like that. So yeah, I would say if you own the game digitally, do not bank the PS Plus version of it, because it could stop you from getting a free upgrade.
Well, things that I thought, funny enough, a lot of people are really interested in Returnal, and I don't really like the look of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like I don't.
I just look at it and it's a 70 quid game, and I'm like, I'm not really interested in replaying the same thing every day.
When they revealed it, I literally thought, "Oh my god, this looks like an amazing horror game." And then it turns out that it's Housemarque. So yes, of course they've built their whole career on arcade shooters, and then it just found out that it is just another arcade shooter, and it was like, oh, okay, I'm kind of less excited for that now.
I mean, the big monsters look interesting, but
and I mean,
I'm going to give that some time. I don't feel any need to purchase that or anything.
Yeah,
must say. I think that one of the things that intrigued me the most was the sort of kung fu looking game.
Yeah, Shifu or something like that.
That looks really good. That looks like
I think there's a PC game, isn't there, called like Fights in Tight Spaces. It kind of reminded me of like, is that what they're going for? But
reminded me of Old Boy, the fight down the corridor, or something like Raid. You know the Raid? That sort of violence.
I get the feeling somehow I get the feeling that's going to be a PS Plus game.
Well, I hope so, because it looks good.
So
I thought that looked good. Other than that, I mean, Kena Bridge of Spirits looks fine, and that's actually coming out at a low price, something like 32 quid or something, if you're scrolling now on the
right. Coming out in August. There was a huge rumour, because it was actually meant to be out in March.
Yes.
There was a huge rumour yesterday saying, oh my God, that basically saying that Kena was going to be that March's PS5 PS Plus title.
Right.
He was like, oh no, it wasn't. But
no.
I'm really looking forward to that. The girls are really, they love the look of the trailer.
Yeah, it looks good, isn't it? Yeah.
So that looks really good. Really, really good.
Other than that, was there anything that you found interesting? Otherwise, the rest of it was just like confirmation of what you'd pretty much seen. Oh God, there was the usual, over the top, running around throwing a ball at someone, multiplayer, Fortnite-esque bollocks.
Yeah, that's
I'm just so over that shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, the funny thing about that is that was revealed last week in Nintendo's Direct.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it's an EA game.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fun.
Good luck if you like that sort of thing. I'm not interested.
The other thing, I don't know what it is. I can't get on board with Deathloop.
No, I can't either.
I don't know what it is about it.
It's very similar to Returnal as well, isn't it? You have to work your way through things. Although Returnal seems a bit more roguelike, doesn't it? You just mix everything up every time you play it.
the art style, the 70s retro style, the music and everything, it should all tick all my boxes. It should all be great. But I'm just not feeling it. I don't know why. It's really
I
weird.
just don't think they're that. I think their games are overrated. You know, they did that. What did they do?
Dishonored.
Yeah, overrated. Overrated. The other one, Prey, overrated. Their games are just overrated. They're not. I think they're a AAA. They're maybe an A or AA company masquerading as a AAA company. I don't think.
Yeah. So the other thing I was surprised about was so of course this week they reduced the price of Last of Us Part 2.
Oh right.
To $24.99.
Yeah,
so
I mean, there's some brilliant deals everywhere, isn't there? Every week there's great deals.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
Sony were really pushing on their Facebook pages and social media, like they've dropped the price to $24.99. Pick this up now, and it's like, I wonder if they're getting ready to announce a PS5 patch for it.
Oh, quite possibly.
And I thought, that'll be on State of Play. No.
Yeah, I wouldn't play that game again though. It was okay. I think that game was overrated. It looked great and the programming was great, but I just think the whole thing was a bit overrated. I think they sort of said what they needed to say really in the first game.
Speaking of overrated games.
Yeah. What? Cyberpunk? What?
I was really hoping it was going to give me some kind of performance boost and everything, and it does. It's all running at 60 frames a second, but the latest patches are literally just, I think I got 30 seconds in to the game after the latest patch, and I'm in the middle of a mission where someone's going to drive me somewhere, and within 30 seconds of us getting in the car to drive off, a car spawned in front of us and he crashed through it. We didn't clip it. We clipped through the car, and that was it. It's like, well, this is just ridiculous. Just literally.
I'm wondering whether this game is going to be the death of that studio.
At the moment, what with their cyber hack, they will more than likely. I would say that this is looking pretty bad for them.
Yeah,
I would say they're probably going to look at. Yeah, I mean, so basically yesterday the big February patch that they promised, that's going to be the big one that fixes lots of things. That's what they announced back in December. To delay it till the end of March, and part of the reason for that, turns out, is that because the cyber hack that they've had on them has locked most of their workforce out of their computers, which they're working on remotely, so they're not allowed back in, so they can't work. So we'll wait and see with that.
Makes you wonder whether there's more to that. Maybe it was an external cyber hack.
The thing that's actually really annoying me about the whole thing now,
it's an internal thing. It's all a big conspiracy.
The thing that's actually annoying me about the whole thing now, bearing in mind that I now have a PS5, is all of these problems. I'm assuming that the next gen version of Cyberpunk is now probably going to get delayed, but also, is this going to have an effect on the next gen upgrade that they promised to The Witcher 3?
Well, unless they do the amount of crawling and free updates like Halo Games did with No Man's Sky, which obviously they were able to do that because they made so much money when it came out, because the hype was through the roof. They'd actually made a shit ton of money, so they could sit back and say, look, we've made our money for the next 10 years. We can just sit here and just plonk away on the keyboard and try and make the game what it should have been at release. Maybe if Cyberpunk can do that, I don't know whether they can do that though. I don't think refunds,
Yeah, when their game's been pulled from sale and still isn't back, I don't think they can. I think they're like really running out of time now.
Has it been pulled off of the Xbox store though?
No.
And it hasn't been pulled off of Steam, is it?
No.
Wherever it is. I know that it's on GOG as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it on Epic?
No, I mean, I think by all accounts, the reason it got pulled off the Sony store is literally after CD Projekt Red had discussions with Sony. I think CD Projekt Red wanted them to pull the game off because a lot of the, all the bad criticism was coming from PS4 owners, mainly because they're a bigger majority than the Xbox owners. And an Xbox One, original Xbox One owner saying that a game runs shit on their systems, nothing new, because there's a lot of shit on the Xbox One. So but then again, yes. Meanwhile, on the other side of it all, No Man's Skies just updated again and added space Pokemon.
Yeah.
You can now capture 6 of the animals and have them as pets and equip them with lasers and things like that. And another fantastic update that wasn't needed. We're now way beyond what they promised with that game.
Yeah, well, I've got that installed at the moment. So let's talk about the only other thing was we did have a Nintendo Direct and Skyward Sword HD got mentioned, which I predicted.
Funnily enough, the Nintendo Direct was
the style games predictions that I've made.
The Nintendo Direct was exactly the same as the Sony one, in the fact that it wasn't as impressive as everyone hoped.
No. Well, apparently the word on the street is the Twilight Princess HD and the Wind Waker HD, which have already been made and released on Wii U, are sitting in the wings, but they're getting rid of the, in quotes, the shittier of the Zelda titles, the Skyward Sword. They're releasing that first, but I've never played that, so I pre-ordered that on a voucher, the Nintendo voucher.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I also bought that triple pack, which you said was good, which was Mario Sunshine and
Mario Sunshine, Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Galaxy.
Yeah. But I also I haven't played it yet, but I think it's probably playable now, what was good was the Capcom arcade. I thought was brilliant, the way they structured that on the Switch. The way that they can make it so easy so you can slow it down, put it on easy difficulty or whatever, all these classic arcade games, Capcom, which include Strider and, brilliant stuff like that. But also I picked up the Ghosts and Goblins Resurrected or something.
Oh yeah, that came out yesterday.
It's getting solid reviews everywhere, like 8s and 9s. So I like a bit of retro. I think the Monster Hunter looks quite interesting on the Nintendo Switch, but I heard it's going to come to PC, but not for a year.
Yeah, no, but I have to admit, I have left my Switch alone for a very long time. I think after putting in 300 hours onto Animal Crossing, I kind of burnt off the Switch completely.
Yeah.
So I started playing. Funny enough, I actually started playing the Mario games, and Mario 64 I've never really played, and I have to admit, I know it's a classic, but I'm not really feeling that either. Don't know why. The way it controls is a little bit. But I've been replaying Sunshine, which was one of my favorite GameCube games, and I've also been playing the Galaxy, and I've never played Mario Galaxy, and wow. What an idiot. I should have been playing that. That's amazing.
Well, the other one, the Super Mario 3D World that got released with the Bowser's thing, I got picked that up.
So
that's really good.
Picked that up as well. Have you seen a Bowser's Fury bit? at all.
I've seen it, but I haven't played it yet. No.
It's brilliant. I think Fury, although it's quite small, it's going to be how future Mario games and main Mario games are made. The way that everything bleeds into each other. It's like a huge open world rather than it really does. Really, and the way it changes, the Bowser gets mad every so often, and the level changes with raining fire. It kind of reminds me of Breath of the Wild when there's a blood moon. Comes to life. But brilliantly done.
So I tell you what I've been playing. I finished Willy Jetman and Astro Monkey's Revenge. I was really chuffed that I actually finished that game, got through all the bosses. I've uploaded a couple of videos actually on how to beat a couple of this. One of the levels is really hard, but once you get the upgrades and you upgrade your weapons and things like that, I found all the golden trophies as well, so I got all the upgrades. And I absolutely love that game. Played that for quite a bit. In fact, I could probably tell how much I played that for if I go and find my settings. Let's have a look at my profile and then go to my games. Let's have a look. I played Willy Jetman 26 hours. There you go.
Not bad.
That's not bad. 26 hours I played that for.
For a £4 game.
It was nothing, yeah. Now, another game I played, 29 hours, was the Sinking City, because they released Frogwares, who make the Sherlock Holmes games, released the Sinking City, which is basically Sherlock Holmes crossed with Call of Cthulhu. And me and Paul, I persuaded Paul to get it because it was on sale on the PS4 for like 15 quid. And then a week later, it then comes out and gets announced that it's a PS5 version coming out. But because of licensing issues, they wouldn't give you a free upgrade. So I thought, so I bit the bullet and bought the PS5 version because I was enjoying it so much. So I did 19 hours on the PS4 version and 29 on the PS5 version.
Wow.
Yeah, really good game.
A few moments later.
And I had the PS4 version on an external hard drive, and it would take like 20, 30, 40, maybe a minute to load the world in from the start. When on an SSD, the PS4 version on SSD would load in about 8 to 10 seconds. But the PS5 version specific on SSD would load in about 2 seconds. So it made running around doing fast travel and stuff like that really quick.
Yeah.
When you think how much you have to run around and fast travel, it was loading the map so snappy as hell. I've got some videos that I've uploaded anyway. So the first few videos are the PS4 version, but running on a PS5. And then the last video I did for that was actually the PS5 version running on a PS5. And I really enjoyed it, and I finished it, and I had a great time with that. So I enjoyed that.
I've been having to do what you normally do with a new console, which was, I think I spent the first week just playing everything for like 20 minutes just to see what it's like, and not really get into anything. But then I've done the thing where you have to do, which is I've done the platinum trophy on Astro's Playroom, which was I really enjoyed that. It's such a good game. And free. And I'm pleased that they've announced a PlayStation VR 2, because that means that'll be another Astro game coming. So they seem to use that to introduce new hardware, really, don't they? So, but yeah, I really enjoyed that.
They did say that it will be linked with just one lead, didn't they?
Yes.
So it's not going to be wireless.
Yeah, and I would like to know what they mean by one lead, because the version 2 is one lead, But I don't know if they mean it's just going to plug directly into the PlayStation 5 and there's no processor box. I don't know. We'll wait. Well, no one knows.
That could be
We'll
that, but
find
who
out.
knows? By the way, this video you're showing in the background, that bloke looks like Geralt of Rivia.
I know. Yeah, when I created him, he didn't look like that, but now he does.
He looks like Geralt of Rivia. Maybe a bit older.
I want to play
more.
more.
Outriders.
This is Outriders. Now, Outriders, I think I like the look of it now. I didn't really know what it was. It's an RPG.
It's the Division, a looter shooter.
Well, from the initial prologue, it is a looter shooter.
But without the live games as a service bullshit.
It is a cover-based looter shooter, so yeah. But I would say, rather than it being like the Division, I'm going to say it's more like Gears of War.
Okay.
And it seems quite good. I haven't really got very far. I played literally the opening mission. And then you jump forward about you then get put in a cryopod for 100 years or something, and the world changes and you die.
Nice.
And now you have to choose your class.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it seems quite good. I'm gonna give this a little bit more of a go, but yeah.
And that's a demo, is it, that's available?
That's a demo that's available now.
Is it a PS5 demo or PS4?
It's a PS5 demo.
Oh, okay. There you go, folks. If you want to get that, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. And also, it's one of those good old demos that all of your progress from the demo, equipment and character carry over to the full game.
Ah, makes sense. That's good. So it's not a beta; it's a demo.
So, yeah, no. Apart from that, I've played Astros. I've gone through Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Yep.
Using the performance ray tracing mode, which has turned me into a 60 frames per second snob. That game is brilliant. Such a brilliant little game.
Yeah.
Longer than I thought it was going to be as well.
Yeah.
And in no way did they sort of like
compromise
story or anything or character development. They literally just went for it, and such an amazing game. I can't wait for the next Spider-Man game.
Isn't there a trailer out for the next film?
No, there was a short there's a short teaser for the fact that they've announced the title.
Okay,
it's
right.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
I got fooled the other day. I thought Miami Vice was being brought back for 70-year-olds, but no, that's a fake. Apparently, Miami Vice might be coming back, but it's a Vin Diesel produced TV show that might be happening.
That sounds worse than the Michael Mann film.
Yeah. Talking of which, was it Jerry Bruckheimer or someone like that? There was a thing on Twitter. They were showing they're filming this stunt, and then these fucking cars blew up and flew towards the crew and nearly took them all out.
Oh God.
Yeah, I know. Really, it was like, Jesus, that was close. I mean, these big cars, big lumps of steel rolling and towards all the camera crew and everything. It looked spectacular. I'm sure it looked great on film.
What else have we played? So I've been enjoying Manhunter.
Yeah, I remember us talking about that. Yeah,
Manhunter. I mean, that's a good little game.
Yeah, it's a good AA game, isn't it?
Yeah, it was the perfect.
Like Sinking City. That's not AAA. Yeah. It's like Sinking City. It wasn't a AAA game, but Frogwares make quite good average games. You know?
Yeah. But then I have managed to get into Demon Souls, and I've managed to get to the sort of like first boss, not the one that's meant to kill you at the beginning, but the actual first proper boss.
Right.
And I've killed it, and now I'm at a point where I need to outrun a dragon all the time. and fuck that game. I'm at a point where I'm running away from the dragon. That's not a problem, but there's a final section where when you're running away from the fire, you're running into 3 soldiers and a knight, and they're all hard, and it's like bollocks. I keep dying.
Right. Yeah.
Beautifully done.
I did get a certain amount of that with that Willy Jetman game with the bosses and things like that, but it's not as, I don't know, because it's more retro looking. It was, and I just found the game really fun to play, you know. But I think Demon Souls can be not fun, can't it?
It can be frustrating.
Yeah, but at least with the loading nowadays, I mean, compared to the loading that you used to have on the PS3, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, dying's not a problem now. You know, it's literally that's done.
Kyle was telling me that the more you die, the harder the game gets.
Yes, it changes I can't remember what they call it now. Basically, the world can change from white to black.
Yeah,
and the black will be worse. Worse enemies come out, and
really punishes you, doesn't it?
Apart from that, I've just been really enjoying the PS5, and I feel absolutely blessed.
Well, here's one I can recommend to you.
Mm.
On sale at the moment, Planet Coaster Console Edition PS5.
Is it actually good?
It's brilliant. I had it on the PC. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. If you like, because every ride you can click on it and literally you're on the ride in 3D. So if you design your own roller coaster, do you remember I showed you one once around my house? Do you remember I showed you that coaster?
Yeah, was that on the PC version?
Yeah. Well, you've basically got the PC version, but all designed for console play with console controls.
Yeah.
And it's only 28 or 29 quid. It's on sale.
That's a good deal.
And it's fucking good. So I would buy it if I were you. It's really good if you like creative stuff.
I know it's not a PS5 game, but I was actually
It is.
No. I was going to say no. The game I'm thinking, I know it's not a PS5 game, but I noticed that Jurassic World Evolution is like 7 quid at the moment.
Yeah, well, that's done by the same people.
Yeah, so I was thinking, I might buy that.
Well, why not? But yeah, Planet Coaster, and they got all these other packs that you can add, like plans to and things. Yeah, $27.99. Is that the PS5 version?
Yeah.
Well worth getting. It's not a big download either, so you can put it on your SSD. You got a campaign where it teaches you all the controls from the beginning, and then eventually you can do scenarios, and then you can just design your whole park from scratch and design your own roller coasters from scratch. And
I find it interesting. So, like, I've seen a lot of people moaning about the storage on the PS5 and how they can't fit anything on it. And it's like, I'm not having any of those problems at all. And I know the reason why I'm not having any of those problems.
Well, you haven't got Call of Duty Black Ops or whatever, Call of Duty installed.
I don't play Call of Duty, and I don't play Fortnite, and I don't play any of these like massively big, huge games. And I think
the storage is great. You think about it, when you used to get a 500 gigabyte, which is half a terabyte PlayStation 4, that would format down to 460 gig or something.
Yeah.
You got formatted 660 gig, so you've got 200 more gig now anyway.
So I've got Valhalla.
Yeah.
Destruction All Star. Hang on, how many games have I got on there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, Chef Factory Studio, is that a PS5 version?
Yeah, 10.
Is it? I haven't got that.
12, 13, 14, and a demo of Outriders. So I've got 14 games installed just on that. And then, but if I went onto the USB, which is just literally all my PS4 games.
Yeah, that's what I've done as well, yeah.
And that, I have to admit, I've had quite a few bad crashes. where it's sort of
I've had a couple of crashes where it had to rebuild the database. One crash like that. But the other thing is, I would what I like is the ability to think, well, actually, that PS4 game, I want to see what it runs like on my SSD, and that's what I did with the Sinking City PS4, and it improved that. It made it run at 60 frames a second, from what I could see, in whatever the resolution was, and it made the loading a lot quicker. So there are benefits to maybe keeping a bit of space free on your SSD, and then just migrating the odd PS4 game that you want to play a lot of and moving that onto your SSD.
Yeah, and it doesn't move.
Just for convenience.
It doesn't take long to move them at all.
No, I mean something like you had there. You got like The Last of Us. If you were going to play that, I would move it across to the SSD. If not, you leave it archived on your normal external hard drive when you fancy playing.
Although I have noticed that there have been a couple of games where, like the God of War patch for PS5, that's got faster load times on it, but not even on, just generally. So running off my external drive, that's still loading quicker.
Well, isn't there a name for that technology that they use? Wasn't it called? Didn't it begin with T, or it was like an undersea water name or something?
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know, like Trident or something. I can't remember what it's called now. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't, because I mean,
this is what I love about the PS5. I'm not that bothered about PS5 specific games, to be quite honest with you. What I like is the fact that I'm just still, because there's not a huge amount of stuff that I really want. There's stuff that I'd rather, like PS4 stuff that I want to play. So, I might even play Heavy Rain on PS4, but play it on the new console and see what the graphics look like. Because if it updates and makes that play smoother, then that'd be quite good fun to play,
Oh yeah,
I've just downloaded the Outer Worlds, not the Wilds, but the World, because I did buy that, and that is like a Fallout 4 produced game, isn't it, or whatever?
Yeah.
And I've downloaded Final Fantasy Remake. I do think they need to bring. I would like them to bring folders back though, because the way that you only get to see 8 or 9 games, and then you go to your game library and you say, okay, I want to look at installed only games, and that's when you then get to see them.
That's a good point.
You could say that's a folder, but I like having the folders on the desktop. Do you know what I mean?
No, and that's a good point, because like, even if you've got a PS4 game or any game that's not on the front page, and you want to,
you can forget about stuff, can't you?
If you want to check for an update, you need to actually run the game to get it to the front page, to then have the option to check for update. And it's like,
have you had the thing where you've delete a game but it leaves like an empty icon on the desktop? Have you had that?
No.
I've had that. No, and then what I have to do, I have to go into it, click on it so it starts to install it again, and then use the options button and delete it, and then it goes from the desktop.
I've had I spent my poor old rural internet. I downloaded the Division 2, which is like 110 gig.
Yeah.
To try out the new 4K 60 frames a second patch.
Yeah.
And I tried it. Made a new character for Warlords. Told you I'd done that and all of that. Closed the game down. 2 days later, I went back, started it up. Wouldn't load. Cannot load game or app. And the error code is like, no, can't be fixed. And they're literally, everyone's sort of like saying, the only way you can fix that error is to delete the game and re-download it. And it's like, oh God, not another 110 gig download. It's like, I might not be able to do this.
Yeah. Well, if I look on my, I've got the digital version of Call of Duty Black Ops, and I need to play the campaign on that.
Yeah.
I want to play the campaign. It looks good. So, and that game is massive, and it's got zombies. So I haven't really touched it. So, No Man's Sky, I've got Planet Coaster. So the actual PS5 games I've got are No Man's Sky, Planet Coaster, Immortals: Phoenix Rising, Black Ops,
Which is an amazing game.
Yeah,
Immortals: Phoenix Rising, I think, is possibly Ubisoft's best game of 2020.
Yeah, I've got Observer.
Didn't promote it at all. They didn't big it up. They didn't do anything with it. They literally just like released it, and it's so good. And it is literally Assassin's Creed Odyssey mixed with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, which for me at the moment is more interesting than the Viking trawl, where you've got to just waste all your hours, your breathing hours.
I need to
stuff.
play Valhalla again on PS5. I put like 30 hours into it on the PS4, and now I've got to just at least, thankfully, all this stuff this time just moves over. Ubisoft have done a very, very good job. I didn't realise that all of their games in 2020 were cloud saving to Uplay or whatever they call it now. So that literally when you put your new version of the game on, the game it loads, it eventually catches on, and you don't even have to sync saves or anything. It catches on and loads your latest save off the Ubi cloud, which is quite cool.
It's sort of what it did on PC, actually, I think. Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for Yakuza Like a Dragon update to come out on PS5 because that's due out in March. Because that's why I'm not playing my PS4 version, because I want the PS5 free update.
It's next Friday.
Oh, is it? Fantastic.
It's a week one.
Well, that could be what I'm end up playing over the next few weeks. I mean, I've even got Dragon Age Inquisition, the PS4 game that I want to play, because that's BioWare. I've never played it.
It was a bit disappointing to see that they're doing a 4K remaster of Judgment, but there's no upgrade.
You have to pay for it.
You got to pay for it again, which is sort of like, oh, come on, guys.
That's what happens with the sinking city. Yeah.
But
no. We're getting there. We're getting there. By the way, what did you think of the Resident Evil demo?
Brilliant.
It had ray tracing in it, didn't it?
Yeah.
It looked really sumptuous, the graphics of the locations, didn't it?
I'm like fully on board with ray tracing and what it can offer.
So you enjoying Watch Dogs then?
So
because I gave you my copy of it, didn't I?
Yes, you very kindly gave me your copy. And yes, I'm really enjoying it. Again, you know, I've already completed this game on PS4, put 40 hours into it, or I know 80 hours into it.
Yeah.
Playing PS5 is a completely different experience.
Is it?
Oh, when it rained, I put a video up on our YouTube channel of it.
Oh yeah, the rain.
And literally the water, the ray tracing, it's the marble, the pavement reflecting everything, even like the old marble.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
Sort of like pavement guards or whatever they've got, literally reflections of everything. It looks amazing. But I'm challenging myself this time. I'm replaying the whole game
with permadeath.
I had permadeath on last time. I'm doing an old people run.
Okay, nice.
I'm only allowed to recruit people above the age of 50.
Brilliant. Well, they're the people that you can trust to murder people anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, so it's like, so I have got a very odd collection of cripples, people who can barely run, can't fight.
You got any that look like me?
No, not yet. I've got well, there's a Chinese fella who looks a bit like you.
Oh, brilliant! I never thought myself as a Chinese person, but there you go. That's fine.
So I've got my. I think that you're watching at the moment. That's the character I'm playing at the moment is my 60-year-old adult film star.
Oh, fantastic! Doesn't look 60-year-old.
No, and she's Well, she's Asian, so she doesn't age.
Oh, fantastic.
But yeah, no, I've got a nice little play. I've lost quite a few operatives already.
Well, you could just put it down to COVID, couldn't you?
Yeah,
That's a bit sick, I know.
Necessarily run away from people.
Yeah, I didn't really mean that. That was
But Legion's amazing. Legion's really good, and I mean, you know, for someone who's in lockdown and like we all are, it's a way of walking around London and seeing some sights that you haven't seen for a long time, and it's like,
like other people. Yeah. They should have done a patch. They should have done a patch where they made everyone wear masks.
No masks are in it.
No, are they? Of course,
like
of course,
masks.
Yeah.
Not the actual masks you wear, but actual face masks.
Oh yeah. All right.
It's going to be the next cosmetic item for all games, isn't it? You know, design a face mask.
So is that pretty much what we've been playing? I think I'm going to play some Planet Coaster. I know that I saw a game I told Paul about on sale for £11 at the moment is Plague Tale Innocence. If you've never played that, I suggest you go and get that game because that's the best game of 2019, I think. Apart from Judgment.
How much is it? It's like 70% off as well, isn't it? So it's
£11.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's a great game.
That's a really good game.
Really scary places.
So on the horizon, I would say that I think they said that Far Cry is probably not coming out till June, maybe September. I'm looking forward to the new Far Cry because I always like Far Cry.
This year is going to be a bit of an odd year.
Yeah,
I think that's why the state of play was the state it was in. Is that, you know, it's that thing of COVID has made a lot of people work from home, which isn't necessarily great for game development. And then introduce that a whole bunch of new consoles on top of it all. I think a game developer's job at the moment is quite hard.
I've just been given some. Look at these! Wow, scones with real clotted cream and jam and a cup of tea.
Ooh, lovely,
fantastic. So I think it's nearly time for us to
call it a night.
She looks like a right old munter, doesn't she? Now
look at her.
Looks a bit of a cross-gen.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Anyway, what are you looking forward to over the next month or so? It's coming out. I can't think of anything myself. I think the Age Oddworld free game I'm looking forward to.
I think, there's not a huge amount.
Not Judgment. Yakuza 7 on PS5. I want that to come out.
I think, like I said, I think there's not a lot out, which is good because it means I can actually play the stuff that I've got, I suppose, which is what you're meant to do. So no, I'm quite happy with at the moment just sort of tinkering around. I think there's gonna be I wouldn't be surprised in the next month there's a few more updates for PS4 games to make them more next gen. Hopefully Last of Us.
Right. Now you've said I'm like I've got a sixth sense.
The games industry is currently bending to your will.
Yeah.
You want something. If you want something, they provide. So, even if that's life-size shepherd helmet,
which I've got on order.
Nah.
I think it arrived June or July.
Oh my gosh.
And it lights up. Paragon or Renegade.
It lights up.
Yeah. Got a red light and a blue light.
Ah.
One for Paragon, one for Renegade. What?
I can hear you full of scone now.
So here's my gaming prediction.
Go on then.
I think Frogwares are probably going to release maybe the Sherlock Holmes games on PS5 versions.
Well, we have still got that. Oh, what updates? Yeah, because we've got that young Sherlock Holmes, haven't we, come in or something like that?
Yeah, there's some good videos about that actually. They give you one main case, and then there's 4 other main cases, but you can do them in any order you want.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, I'll tell you one game you won't be playing. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Yeah, that's been delayed because they chucked the actual developer off, haven't they?
Yeah, they've kicked that's not just delayed, that's like indefinitely delayed. That's like we're starting again with somebody else. So that's got more chance of coming out than Metroid
How
Prime
the
4.
hell can you start again?
I mean, if it's not going the way you want it,
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah, absolutely.
I must admit, I'm not enthused about the next Horizon Zero Dawn game coming out, must admit.
Yeah, I have to admit I haven't played Horizon yet, so that's something I do need to do is actually play the first game, and then I'll see what I'm sure it's going to be amazing because I think Guerrilla are
Yeah, it will look good, but I'm just not interested in playing it.
That team have made all the new consoles sing for them. I mean, Killzone Shadowfall, I went back to that a few months ago, and that
you can go back to it on the PS5, mate. Got 60 frames a second.
Is it unlocked?
Yeah.
Really?
No. It's 60 frames a second, though.
I'll tell you what, that would be that would be really good.
Got it installed on mine.
I want to go back and play Days Gone. I mean, it's really me looking forward to the future, the next month or something. I want to play Days Gone. I want to play God of War because I think the 60 frames a second patches they've received changed those games. I started playing.
Let's just quickly talk about how you've become a 60 FPS whore.
It's literally, I think what it is, and it's weird because Watch Dogs Legion doesn't allow you to play in 60 frames.
No.
I think what it is that you don't notice it, but if you're in a game where you're playing at 30 frames a second and it gives you the option to go up to 60, you notice the difference straight away. But if you're playing at 60 frames a second and you go onto like quality graphics mode, which drops you down to 30,
like they do on Demon Souls. Yeah.
On Demon Souls, it's literally like you're stuck in mud. It's I was like, oh my god! I never thought I'd know. I was one of those people who always thought I won't notice the difference. I won't notice the difference. I was don't be silly. I don't think there's that much difference. Wow, there's so much difference. It's unbelievable. Destiny 2
looks amazing, doesn't it?
Looks amazing, and running at 60 frames a second is like, wow. This feels like a different game again.
Yeah,
everything just feels different. Even going from
more
like
responsive.
Because I've been playing No Man's Sky on the PS4 version as well, just to compare things. And it's a world of difference.
Yeah.
Oh, and also I do have to mention quickly the latest patch for No Man's Sky improved VR performance on a PlayStation 5.
Wow.
Which is a funny little patch because it's the PlayStation 4 version running in backward compatibility mode to get the VR working, but they've patched that version to make the VR better on PS5, even though there's a PS5 next gen version as well. But yeah, the VR version of No Man's Sky basically is fixed.
Well, will you imagine the up-res graphics you've got and smoothness and everything? Imagine that with better quality screen on VR. I mean, it's a very low-res screen on the PSVR, isn't it?
I think what you have to, if we're going to go with PSVR 2, I'm hoping that they'll get it going. You know, the PS5 is got the horsepower, so I really hope that we can get something like Half-Life Alyx on PlayStation.
I have no doubt you will be able to.
That has to be something that needs to happen.
You know, most PCs were running really high def VR smoothly on a PC with a 1080 Ti like I've got, which is 11 T-flops.
Yeah.
So you'd be able to do it on an enhanced architecture based 10.2 T-flop PS5.
Yeah.
No problem.
But I think what we need to know, I'm really pleased they've confirmed that they're doing something.
Yeah, well, I did say that PSVR 2's coming, didn't I? In my Oracle,
they're doing something. It is confirmed, and it won't be this year. I really hope it's next year. I kind of feel like it's going to be 2023.
No, it'll be next year. It'll be next year, won't be? They're not going to leave it that long.
Talk about. I have to mention this. Talk about the thing you spend £500 on a new console. So basically, my story is I had to monitor YouTube stock streams and Discord channels. I was everywhere, and I happened to get the alert at the right time for game. I had to buy a bundle. I had to get 2 controllers. I didn't really, and that's how I got mine. And I know that people out there are still struggling to get PS4, PS5. They're going to be struggling for the whole year. So I think I'm kind of lucky because it took me 2 weeks to get one.
Well, where there's a will, there's a way.
But it's hilarious when the first thing you do with your £500 new piece of ultimate tech is go and have to buy a USB hub for it because there's not enough USB ports for you to plug in the
all your shit,
plug in your external drive and the VR at the same time, because the external drive and the camera and the VR processing unit won't work on the front port. It has to be the back ports. And it's like, oh, damn.
Why the hell is that?
I don't know. It's like and then why did they ship?
You can only charge it from the front port as well.
Their USB-C charging controller. Their controller's USB-C, so they've shipped, and there's a USB-C port in the front of the PlayStation 5, and they ship it with a USB-C to USB-A cable to charge the controller. It's like, well, that's weird. Oh, never mind. Yeah. That's my boring techie mind doing that. Well, but yeah. So I've got a USB hub in the back of mine, one on 2 foot lead, and I've actually shoved the dongle for the headphones.
You see what I mean when I said I don't think you really need a PS5 at the moment, but it's a nice thing to have.
Yeah,
do you know what I
mean? I think once again, I think it's that thing of I regretted not getting it on launch day.
Yeah.
But not having it at launch day means that when 2-3 months later I pick one up, a couple of bugs are ironed out from it, and also things have started kicking in, like next gen patches and upgrades and things like that. So
I think the biggest surprise for me
coming
is
in February, it's like, wow, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to see.
Yeah. And PSN has already paid for itself in value and will do.
I mean, control.
How good is that we've had like Man-Eater for free? What else have we had for free? Destruction All Stars,
Bug Snacks, which is a great game. Control.
Control. Man-Eater. Massive edition. I mean, no one in their right mind thought that game was coming out as a free game, did they?
The Destruction game, Destruction All Stars. I've only played a couple of games of it. I'll probably never play it again. But do you know what? It's a good game.
I think what I think Sony are doing, because obviously there's not that many PS5 titles they can get their hands on. I think they're doing it as a way to combat Game Pass's value proposition, because when you've got that big list of all the PS4 games, and then they're giving PS5 owners quality free titles as part of their subscription. It really does, not the knock that Game Pass subscription into a cocked hat.
Oh yeah, no, I think you're right.
Mix of games is like, well, it's great, but then one month the game that you do want to play won't be on there.
No. It's weird. It's weird though. Well, you know,
I think Game Pass is weird. I'm not a fan of it. That's for sure.
I think a lot more publishers are open to the idea of making their game free, with PS Plus, because it actually generates them more money.
Yeah,
because you know they get paid a lot of money. I think with PS Plus, I think a developer gets paid for every member that downloads the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. I think they get a psychic
People
commission.
are more likely to at least download the game or add it to their library, aren't they, if it's part of their subscription?
Anyway, I'm watching our countdown timer for second meeting tick away.
Right, well, we better go. I think we've done enough for this little session, and we'll look forward to catching up maybe in a month or so's time and seeing what else is out there. Maybe I'll have judgment.
Next month we'll be back to a normal sort of regular podcast where we can just talk about Yakuza again.
Yeah.
Which is all we want.
Quick bit of news. Apparently there was an interview with Daiso's, what's his name, from RGG, and he was saying that Ishin and Kenzan, that the technology was too old, so if they were to come to the West, there'd be like a remake.
Yeah.
Watch this space.
Watch this space.
Because apparently they've got some of the best. They've got some of the best stories in the Yakuza games, in those two games.
Really quickly say goodbye because we're literally getting cut off now.
All right. See you later. Bye.
See you later. Bye.